the field of body psychotherapy in general has brought some very important new awareness to psychotherapeutic work. And one of the most important aspects is the reading, the empathizing with unspoken content. So much of what a client brings to the therapeutic situation is not spoken, right? They may not even know what they're really feeling. They may say, oh, everything was fine, and yet a sensitive person will know they're not feeling fine at all. They may even be telling a story as if it has no effect on them at all, and yet we can see and feel within their body that it has had quite an effect, that they have tremendous intensity of emotion about what they're talking about. So that aspect of psychotherapy is very important, and it's been a wonderful contribution of the body therapy field. In the realization process, when we attune to this ground of consciousness that I call fundamental consciousness, pervading our own body and the world around us, really opens us to a very subtle level of that embodied empathy. Because fundamental consciousness pervading our own body and the body of another person is the basis of deep contact with our own being and the other being, the other person, at the same time. And that's something that hasn't been talked about quite a lot, that we can make this deep contact with another person as this ground of our being. So the love that is naturally there within our own chest actually resonates with the love and connects deeply, contacts that love in another person. And the same with all of the qualities of our being, our power, our sexuality, our understanding, our voice, that can be met and contacted with from within our own body to another body. And that makes for a very intimate feeling in the therapeutic situation or in any situation between two people. But most important, that we're not merging with that other person, but we're actually connecting across distance, right? That we're within our own body. And that's the basis of contacting the other person within their body. Now we have two facets of that. And one is the contact, and the other is the see, what we call in the realization process, see field, actually knowing to some extent what the other person is feeling, where they live in themselves, where they're constricted and where they're open, and also the movement that occurs as they talk about themselves, as they bring their very important narrative to the therapeutic situation. Right? So we can feel the movement of the sadness. We can feel the movement of release that happens when they have contacted part of themselves that's been held. And at the same time, we can feel our own experience in our own body. So we can feel what's going on in their body cross distance without running it through our own body. Most sensitive people do that, right? We run the other person's experience to our own body, and that's how we know what's happening around us. But this is a more subtle level than that kind of entrainment, right? It's a level in which we can feel what's going on in that person and yet also feel what's going on in ourselves. Very important in therapy. We have something that used to be called countertransference. It's a kind of a very intimidating word for just means basically our response to what the client is saying. And really important that we can distinguish our own response from the client's. That if we feel sad, we know that we're either empathizing with the person's sadness or it's touched something of our own sadness in our own being. So that when we respond, we know if we're responding out of our own backlog of psychological history or if we're responding in the present moment to that person. So it just bringing that embodied empathy to a more subtle level.